Hello, 안녕하세요. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about my experience as an African living in South Korea based on my experiences. So, when I first came, not when I first, even till now, when children see me, they're kind of like taken aback, like they're surprised, like. And sometimes, they come to touch my skin, like they want to see if it's going to peel off. Because they can't imagine someone having a different color than theirs. I remember an incident. I was with a Korean, and I wouldn't blame the child. She had never seen an African person or a person of another color, and so she asked her mom, like, why am I like this? Why is my skin this way? And the one that was trying to explain to her, that there are different people in the world and different skin tones, different skin types, and the rest. So sometimes it's children are scared or surprised, and sometimes on the streets when they see you, they keep staring at you, and times the kids just point at you, and so the parents like use that as a teaching moment or teaching opportunity. They just yank the child away as if to say you're going to steal the child or something. I'm like, duh. Am I going to steal your child? Yeah. So one thing, what it's like being African, what's like being Nigerian, what's like having a different skin color is that, kids, when they see you, they're surprised, and they're like, yeah. Another experience I've had being a Nigerian, being of a different skin tone, is that you get stared at a lot. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that, of course, people stare. Of course, I used to stare. Everyone stares. Even back home in Nigeria, we all stare. But in Nigeria, when you stare at people and people stare back at you, kind of remove your eyes, right? But it's not so. Like, they stare and you stare back, they keep staring. I'm like, guy, what is it? I stared at you, remove your eyes. No, they keep staring at you, like they stare and you, and sometimes you just become so self-conscious, like, is something wrong in my body? Like, is something showing, and if I'm with someone, I act like something, am I wearing something of, like, no. So sometimes the stares make you feel very uncomfortable. It really does. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it just depends on where you are, where you live. I live in Incheon, so for most people who live in Incheon, most Koreans who live in Incheon, they don't get to see people of a different skin tone. But if you live in, let's say, Itaewon in Seoul, of course, there are lots of people, different foreigners living there, different skin tones, even people who are of a darker complexion than I am. So you will not get stared at such. And also, yeah, I also get stared at because of my hair, and then they want to touch my hair, like, oh, I want to make my hair like yours. Oh, you poor, how did you do this? So I think last month or some months ago, I made braids, and so and some people like touching my hair, like, is it a wig? I'm like, no, it's not a wig, it's my hair. And so the same people saw me when I took off the braids, and they saw me in my natural hair, and they were like, excuse me, did you cut your hair? I'm like, no. The braids were longer. Well, I couldn't explain to them that it was braids, and now this is my own natural hair. So I just told them, like, I washed my hair and it's strong. Like, that's the best explanation I could give, So yeah, sometimes you get stared at even for your hair. Another experience I've had is that I think people of my color are the same. Like, there was a time I went to a clinic one time. I went to see the doctor, and the nurses were trying to fill my details, and they're like, oh, you came last week, and you want to rebook your appointment? And I'm like, no, I wasn't here. I'm like, no, like, I'm a different person, it's not me. Like, oh, sorry, sorry, it's not you. Oh, it's not you, sorry, it's not you. So it's like, we all look alike. I'm like, how do we all look alike, for God's sake? We are different face, like, I am lighter at least than some other person. So how do I, so they most times mistake us, I saw you the other day. No, it's not me you saw. I'm not the one, I wasn't there. So they believe that all of us are the same, but we are not all the same. Another experience I've had, especially for me, because of my body size and shape, getting clothes that fit me and getting styles that fit me. Yes, it's been very difficult getting clothes that fit here in Korea. Very difficult. Like, you go into a shop and there's literally nothing that can fit, even down to your footwear. There's really nothing that can fit. So they are kind of small in size, so they really do not have items on for bigger people. So that's one experience I've had living here. And another thing, the basic things like powder, brown powder for your skin complexion is difficult to get. It's very difficult to get. So that's another experience I've had here. Now I'm going to talk about this, and this is subtle racism. Now, Korea is not they're not outrightly racist to your face, they're not racist like other countries where they are like racist. They are subtle racism. When, like, for example, when you sit down in a bus and you sit down very close to some Koreans, they just stand up. Or maybe you sit in the subway, they just stand up and go and stand, or stand up and move somewhere else. Subtle racism. They have this, they feel like they're superior to you. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from not from me. It's coming from a Korean. We're having a discussion with a Korean who had lived in the US for a long time, and they were like, sometimes some Koreans are very funny. Like, they feel like they're superior, but they have this backward way of thinking. And I was thinking that back, like, wow, coming from a Korean, like, yeah, that he feels like it never changed. The same way they used to think in the olden days, the same way they think now. Even with all the beautiful technology and everything, their thinking is still backward. Like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's they feel like they are superior to you. I mean, if I sit close to you in the subway, am I going to stain or rub? I don't know. Am I going to? So that subtle racism, it's not there. It's not outspoken. It's not visible, but you know that there's this subtle racism. Sometimes I think sometimes just they do these things out of ignorance, not like they want to be racist. They just do some things out of ignorance. They don't know, and they do these things. Yeah, so I think that's about that. Now, another thing, stereotypes. Yes, stereotypes. I don't know why they feel like all Nigerians, like, if just say, hey, 안녕하세요, onu narasara. Like, Nigeria, oh, soccer, and then they begin to call names of different players. I'm like, guy, do I know this person? I don't know them. I don't watch football like that. I don't know. So they just feel like, everybody, football. You love football because Nigerian play football. Why would I know that person? Is it because I'm a Nigerian, so I should know the person? Another thing, another experience I've had, being a Nigerian African here, is our food. But for me, I've acclimatized. I really, when I first came, it was difficult for me because you used to eating your eba and your ofe and salad, your afang soup and every other thing. But for me, I've adjusted a bit, so I've found ways to make food that I love. So if I want to make soup, I can use sunflower to make my melon soup. Sometimes I don't, of course, you don't get to see ugu, but they have a variety of pumpkin. I use it to cook my vegetable. So I use kale, I use spinach to make my vegetable, add little bell pepper, and they have some fishes that are not exactly stockfish. I use it, but at least they have cow leg and meat. So I just use it to spice up my food. So, but yeah, sometimes food used to be an issue, but right now is no longer an issue for me because I have found ways to adjust. So that's been my experience so far. And okay, another experience I've had, when you ask what country person you are, and you say Nigeria, and I remember, I think recently whenever I'm in transit, in the bus or in the subway, I'm always with my phone reading. I use it to just, I don't want to just sit down, except I want to sleep. But if I'm just not doing anything, just like to read some books. So, and oh, and then an elderly man saw me reading and they're like, "What country are you from?" I was surprised. I was thinking about like, this man is, oh, he's elderly, he knows. Okay, I said I'm a Nigerian. So, oh, Nigeria. I go, do you speak English in Nigeria, mother language? I'm like, yes, because if somebody reading a book in English language, it was like surprised. Many people don't know that in Nigeria our major language is English. I'm like, and like, really, English? I mean, yeah, it's English, because we have more than 250 or more than, let's say 250, more than 400 languages in Nigeria. So we cannot be saying even in Igbo, and just Ekaroma, Sanunagode, Keitike, also everybody speaking. Why? You will not understand, right? So we all speak English because English is a language every one of us would easily understand. So most times they are taken aback to like, oh, you guys speak English. I'm like, that means you speak more. Yeah, I speak more languages because I got to speak in English, I got to speak in Pidgin, I get to speak in Igbo sometimes, and I get to speak in Yoruba sometimes, and I get to speak and oh, my Ibibio is going, oh my god. Abadie, idiot, car, them fall. So because we speak all those languages, we need English to communicate to each other. Yeah. And so that's that. They get surprised that we speak in English. I'm also asked, do you speak French? Like, no, we don't speak French. Although French is one of the languages that, I don't know if it's all schools, but at least in my own secondary school, in your first 3 years of junior secondary school, it's an important language. You all learn in French. And of course, our passport is written in French, right? French and English. So, yeah, but not every one of us speak French, but at least every one of us speaks English. Yeah, so far, these are the experiences I can remember that has happened so far the past 3 years I have been living in South Korea. So have you ever visited South Korea? What has your experience been like? Can you share with us in the comment section? Okay, thank you for watching and thank you for staying true to this channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Till I come your way next time, keep living intentional. Bye for now.